Imagine you are buying your first car. You walk into the dealership, excitement buzzing inside you. You spot a car that seems perfect. Then you see the price displayed prominently on the windshield. For many first-time buyers, this number can feel like a solid, unchangeable wall. It can be intimidating. You might think that this is the final word, the amount you simply must pay. This feeling is incredibly common, a shared experience for newcomers to the world of negotiation. But remember, this initial price is often just the opening line in a longer conversation. Let's consider another scenario. Perhaps you are at a vibrant, bustling, open-air market. Your eyes land on a beautifully crafted piece of art or a unique antique. The vendor tells you the price. It seems a bit steep, maybe more than you were hoping to spend. Your initial reaction might be disappointment or a feeling that it's out of your reach. You might even be tempted to walk away without a word. However, seasoned shoppers and negotiators see this moment differently. They recognize that the first price quoted is rarely the last price. It is an invitation to engage, to discuss, and to explore possibilities. This initial hesitation, this feeling of price finality, is perfectly normal. In many everyday shopping experiences, like at the grocery store or a department store sale, prices are indeed fixed. We are conditioned to accept the displayed price without question. However, when it comes to significant purchases, such as a house, a vehicle, or even services like home repair, the rules often change. Negotiation is not only possible, but frequently expected by the seller. Understanding this fundamental difference is the first crucial step. It empowers you to approach these situations with a new perspective, ready to advocate for your best interest. The truth is, sellers in these situations often anticipate and even welcome negotiation. They have usually set the initial price with some room for discussion. That sticker price or first quote is often strategically positioned at the higher end of their acceptable range. They are essentially waiting for you to initiate the haggling process. So take a calming breath and remember that you are not being impolite or difficult by questioning the price. On the contrary, you are acting as an informed and savvy consumer. This is a standard part of the transaction, a dance as old as commerce itself. Think of a listed price not as a rigid command, but as a conversation starter. It is the seller's initial proposal, their way of opening the dialogue about the item's value. They present this number to gauge your level of interest and to see how you will react. It's also a subtle way for them to test your understanding of the market and the item's worth. Your role as a smart buyer is to respond thoughtfully and strategically. Do not simply accept this first figure at face value. Instead, prepare to engage in a constructive discussion that can lead to a more favorable outcome for you. Sellers, particularly for big ticket items or in less formal retail environments, frequently build a margin for negotiation into their asking prices. This is a common practice for things like automobiles, real estate transactions, and even for services or goods from independent artisans. They fully expect that potential buyers will not just agree to the initial price without any discussion. If every customer paid the full sticker price without attempting to haggle, many sellers would likely be quite surprised, perhaps even a little disappointed they didn't aim higher. Therefore, view that initial price as an open invitation to explore the true possibilities of the deal. Consider the situation from the seller's point of view for a moment. Their primary goal is, of course, to make a sale. Alongside this, they naturally want to achieve the best possible price for their goods or services. You, as the buyer, also have a primary goal: to acquire the item you desire. And similarly, you want to secure it at the most advantageous price for your budget. This inherent tension between the buyer's desire for a lower price and the seller's desire for a higher price is precisely where the art of negotiation comes into play. The listed price is simply their ideal starting point. So when you encounter that initial price, try not to feel overwhelmed or pressured into immediate acceptance. Instead, let it empower you. This is your clear signal that the negotiation process has begun. It's your valuable opportunity to engage with the seller, to ask pertinent questions, and to work towards a deal that feels fair and satisfactory to you. Remember, the price tag is merely the first chapter of the purchasing story. You have a significant role to play in co-authoring the final agreement. So, be prepared to make your voice heard and your proposals known. Thorough preparation is undoubtedly your most powerful ally in any negotiation. Before you even begin discussing prices, invest time in doing your homework. Research the specific item or service you intend to purchase. Understand its typical market value. Look up what competitors are charging for similar offerings. The more comprehensive your knowledge base, the more confident and effective you will be when you sit down at the negotiating table. This information doesn't just build your confidence, it provides you with a realistic target price and a solid foundation for your arguments. This groundwork is absolutely essential. Always maintain a polite, respectful, and friendly demeanor throughout the negotiation process. It is crucial to remember that negotiation is not a confrontation or a battle to be won. Instead, approach it as a collaborative effort to find a mutually agreeable solution. You want the seller to be inclined to work with you, to genuinely want to help you reach a good deal. A simple smile, courteous language, and an attentive listening ear can go a very long way. Building a positive rapport can make the seller more flexible and willing to compromise. You are aiming for an agreement, not an argument. Being genuinely prepared to walk away from the deal is an incredibly potent negotiation tool. If the seller is unwilling or unable to meet your reasonable expectations, or if the terms just don't feel right, you must have the conviction to disengage and look elsewhere. This demonstrates that you are serious about your limits and protects you from being pressured into accepting an unfavorable outcome. Sometimes the very act of showing that you are ready to walk away can prompt the seller to reconsider their position and become more accommodating. This leverage is invaluable. When it comes to making your first offer, aim for a figure that is reasonable, but not your absolute bottom line. Your initial proposal should typically be lower than the maximum amount you are ultimately willing to pay for the item. This strategic approach provides you with valuable room to maneuver as the negotiation progresses. If the seller were to accept your very first offer immediately, it might be an indication that you started too high. Anticipate some back and forth discussion. This is the natural rhythm, the dance of negotiation. Patience and polite persistence are key virtues in this process. One of the most common pitfalls for first-time negotiators is succumbing to emotional buying. It happens easily. You find an item you absolutely adore, and your desire for it becomes palpable. A savvy seller can often sense this strong emotional attachment. They might then correctly surmise that you'd be willing to pay a premium to secure it. To counteract this, strive to maintain a degree of objectivity throughout the process. Keep your emotions in check as much as possible. Remind yourself that there are usually other options available, other similar items or sellers. This emotional detachment is vital for making clear-headed financial decisions. Another frequent trap is entering a negotiation without a clearly defined budget or a firm walkaway price. Before you begin any discussion, you must know the absolute maximum amount you are willing and able to spend. This figure is your non-negotiable limit. Do not allow the seller, no matter how persuasive, to push you beyond this predetermined point. It's very easy to get caught up in the excitement of the moment and overspend. However, a deal is only truly a good deal if it genuinely fits within your financial means. Sticking to your budget will save you from potential regret later on. The fear of silence can be a significant mistake, especially for inexperienced negotiators. Imagine this. You've made an offer and the seller responds with a prolonged pause. Many novice negotiators feel an overwhelming urge to fill this silence. They might become uncomfortable, and in an attempt to break the tension, they might even impulsively raise their own offer or make unnecessary concessions. Resist this urge. Allow the silence to work in your favor. It can create pressure on the other party to respond. Being comfortable with these pauses demonstrates confidence in your position and your offer. Finally, don't hesitate to explore options beyond just the main price. Negotiation is not always a one-dimensional discussion about the monetary figure. Perhaps the seller indicates they cannot lower the price any further to meet your desired amount. In such cases, consider asking for additional value in other forms. Could they be willing to include some accessories at no extra charge? Might they offer free delivery or installation services? Is an extended warranty a possibility? These non-monetary additions can significantly enhance the overall value of the deal. With diligent preparation and consistent practice, anyone can master the art of haggling and become a successful, confident negotiator